Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming into another video. All right, so the Lakers fall to the Timberwolves 118 to 113. And it was a really bad shooting night for our Lakers from behind the arc. Shot in the mid 20 percentiles. Is that how you say that? Mid 20% range? I guess that's how you say that. I'm in a mindset where it's kind of hard to critique at all because you know it was a preseason game. You know that some of what you saw was going to be what it is that you expect to see in terms of the poor shooting. The turnovers, a little frustrating tonight. We had 20 turnovers as a team. Very unacceptable. Some of them were unforced, uncharacteristic turnovers in some cases. Just not a great performance in that way. And I just don't know how to assess what I saw. I think that's the best way to know how to describe it, you guys. I don't know how to look at it because it's like, okay, is this a prelude to what we to expect, or are we still experimenting? Did we learn that these are things we cannot do, or should I be concerned that coach is allowing things to happen that shouldn't be done? I don't really know how to look at it. I don't know. It's just preseason and it's a brand new coach and it's a brand new team. But at face value, if I'm to just say what I don't want to see, I don't want to see guys left on the floor to struggle in the way that I saw tonight. And I know, we have to say that Lonnie Walker was playing great in the first half and then went down with some type of injuries. Hopefully he's not too hurt. That's also starting to be a thing. First Juan, now him, already dealing with the absence of Troy Brown. He also still isn't back tonight, so we still don't have our full spectrum of players, and that's also to be taken into account when assessing what we're looking at. I don't think I'm especially frustrated at all. Even if I'm to critique it in a negative way, it's not that I'm frustrated. It's just that was not a very entertaining basketball game to watch. I think that's the best way I know how to give you what I got. It's just I didn't watch it. I watched the game, and I had a little trouble with links and stuff like that, so that might have added to a little bit of frustration. But I got enough of it. I was able to watch it for the most part. And I thought guys gave good effort. You know what I mean? There wasn't nothing wrong with the effort. The effort's always good for this unit. It was just some basketball IQ concerns down there with the shot selection, which is something we've talked about. But with just, not allowing yourself to lose focus when certain things aren't going your way. And since it's so early, I'm not concerned. I just think it's an order of emphasis for the coaches to now turn their attentions to say, okay, now we see a tendency here that we can kind of work on and coach against. And that is falling in love with three-point shot. Falling in love with having the intent on forcing shots to fall when they're not. Like, I missed a couple threes, damn it, I'm going to shoot some more. We're going to get these three-point shots no matter what. And it's like, I saw the team kind of forcing it tonight in terms of not really playing into what it is that's working, but more so just saying, damn it, this three's going to fall and we're going to make it fall. And it's just not. It's a lid on it. So it was a lot of that going on out there. Players getting frustrated with the shot not falling, and then from there just letting their shot selection wane, focus wane, team play kind of wane on the offensive end particularly. Guys stop passing to one another as quickly. Doubt starts to creep in about whether or not I should give the ball to a guy. And when stuff like that happens, it slows your rhythm down. That split second where you're not sure if you should give it to him or not, that throws the play all the way off. So we saw a little bit of that tonight. Guys just frustrated with not seeing success, I think. Russell Westbrook set the tone for a lot of what we saw tonight himself, just being himself, honestly. I didn't think he played particularly poor for his standards, but he still did enough to throw the rhythm off, as usual. And coach was going to him as you would go to Russell Westbrook, as Russell Westbrook. Not necessarily as you would go to Russell Westbrook as a struggling player. And I think we need to shift now. I think we need to shift there. It's like, all right, I get it. He's Russell Westbrook. He's on a $47 million contract. All of those things are present. But also, he's a body running around that's just not playing good basketball for us. So we got to treat him as such and put him in the pecking order as such so he doesn't deter the rest of what it is that we're doing. And I think that's what we kind of fell into tonight. Now, could that be something that we learned a little bit? Yeah, sure. We could take that and say, okay, that's noted. But I don't think that was something I needed to waste a preseason game on to see. I guess is what I'm saying. I didn't need to see that much of Russell Westbrook in that light tonight. He was struggling. Okay, sit him down. Problem was everybody we were playing was struggling too. You sit him down and you bring in Dennis Schroeder, he's struggling. You bring in Lonnie Walker, he's playing great. Boom, he gets hurt. Right, so that's a lot of what we saw tonight. Austin Reeves, kind of quiet. He tends to have these type of games where he plays within the flow of the game too much. Lonzo games, that's what I used to call it, like Lonzo Ball type games where he almost gets lost in the fold of the game. He's doing things correctly, but it's just not enough of an emphasis to where his impact is made on the game. We talked about this earlier with LeBron James. He makes others better, but when he's not surrounded with guys who are playing well, you're not going to get as much out of Bron. Well, most facilitators are like that. And I think Austin Reeves is like that as well. So with guys around him struggling, it just didn't manifest into his impact being strong enough for the team tonight, I don't think. He had 2 turnovers. Both of them were uncharacteristic, unforced turnovers. So I just thought he struggled a little more than he usually does. What else, man? Cole Swider, I thought he came in spirited. You know, he was part of the comeback effort, but the same thing that makes you laugh makes you cry with Cole. You know, he hit a couple shots that got us in it. He missed a couple shots that kept us out of it. Guys didn't trust him as much. It was that type of dynamic as I described. And he didn't get the ball in a situation where you felt like you wanted him to get the ball, but you kind of thought he wasn't going to make the shot anyway. So there was a lot of that going on. So it was just, a little bit of a struggle there. So, yeah, a lot of struggle shooting, a lot of turnovers. I thought we rebounded the ball okay. We matched their rebounding total. But we just could not slow down Naz Reid. He had a fantastic night tonight. 13 boards, double-digit, 20-plus points. I don't remember exactly how many points he ended up with a bunch of threes. He just really had the game of his life. And that was not something that we didn't see coming through the first half because we were talking about how well he was playing. So, yeah, that did not help. D'Angelo Russell's shot looked pure as always. Jalen Noel, Jaden McDaniels, all those guys played really well tonight and just gave us a lot of trouble from their end. CJ Ellaby was a guy that popped off the screen near the end of the game. I'm not so aware of him. He might be a rookie, but he had a certain level of swagger down there when he was running around. So I'm curious to see if he's going to be somebody who's an impact player for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But they look like a good, scrappy defensive team. Without their stars down there, with Anthony Edwards having a bad scoring night, shooting 2 of 12 or something like that, you really saw the Minnesota Timberwolves put up a scrappy effort and just make the game not fun for Laker fans to watch. They gave us the three-point shot. We weren't hitting it. They played scrappy defense in other areas and ultimately did enough, I think we got away from size in certain areas of the game. Thought we were going a little small, and that never works for us. The small ball didn't work at all last year for us. And, running LeBron James and Anthony Davis as your bigs is just never good. It's just never good. I'm sorry. It's just, I have seen enough of that to know that LeBron James and Anthony Davis should never be the 5 and the 4 together. They shouldn't. You need another big down there so that they can have support doing the big stuff because neither one of them naturally think like centers. They don't. They have to step outside of themselves to behave like centers, and they're not great at it. I'm not going to lie to you. Bron ain't great at the center position, even though he can get his numbers and be amazing statistically as a center because he can do anything. He can work from the center position. So I think people get that confused with him being a great center. Just because he can go for 40, 15, and 8 as a center doesn't necessarily mean that doing the center things, he's very good at those. He's not. He's really not. He just knows how to operate from anywhere at all times. So that's He knows how to be himself in those circumstances. But once it comes down to rebounding against guys like Nas Reed, nah, man. Bron's going to usually lose those battles. AD, same thing. And when you slap them down there together, same thing. They both struggle. So it's like, look, you keep a Wenyen Gabriel, you keep a Thomas Bryant, you keep a Jones or somebody on the ground down there with them. That way, they're not the only big on the floor. They're not relying on each other to be bigs, and they can be themselves. They're forwards, more so guards than anything else. And when we slap them down there at the big spots, whether they're together or not, if they don't have enough support, it doesn't work. So that's what I saw Darvin Ham trying to get a whiff of, and I think every Laker fan saw enough of that last year to tell him that you don't even need to work. You don't even need to worry, man. It ain't never gonna work. Keep on trying that. It ain't gonna work. So yeah, that's something that I just want to point out. Even though they both played fantastic tonight, that's not a reflection upon them playing poorly at all. I just thought that the lineups they were in, where they were the 4 and the 5, I just thought we struggled. It just showed that doesn't work. But I do definitely think that there were lineups down there that we kind of could have went to look for success, and I think we deliberately stayed away from those. Scottie Pippen really helped us near the end. Max Christie and his rebounding, pushing the pace near the end of the game was helpful. We didn't play them very much, so we gotta take into account that we kind of leaned on some players that were struggling, and I think we'll probably get away from that in the regular season. Luka Garza needs to be mentioned tonight because the score was pretty close before he started lighting up threes. Now, I was telling you guys all offseason that he played for the Detroit Pistons, but somewhere along the line, he found himself with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I think that's a great spot for him as a stretch 5 because obviously they have Karl Towns, and of course you slip him in and they can keep running the same stuff. So, very deadly player. He definitely showed us what he can do for the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, and I think he was basically the reason why we couldn't get back in it. He just made it so that the score was a little too far apart for us. Even though down the stretch we got some really, really, really good plays out of the situation to make it close. Guys started hitting 3. And let me tell you, Wenyen Gabriel, man, I've told you guys this more than once this week. Our team is just better with him on the floor. I don't care what lineup it is. If he's on the floor, it just complements whoever's on the floor very much. It's just it's his style. It's the way he dives into the paint, the way he goes after offensive rebounds, the way he goes after loose balls, the way he rebounds the ball just in general. Whatever it is that he brings to this roster with his pace particularly and his length, it's a very, very good thing for this roster. I can't stress it enough. I do believe it's the speed that he plays at, coupled with the style of play that just complements Bron, complements AD, complements just about all of the guys that we have. So we saw him be inserted into the lineup, and then you saw the lead that the Minnesota Timberwolves had decrease almost instantaneously. And I just don't think that's a coincidence. I think he needs to be prioritized significantly more so because of it. And I think as Darvin Ham continues to shuffle around as the season progresses, he's going to find out that that's probably one of his more reliable pieces. Like, you can put him in more lineups than you have been and probably have more success than you've seen because he's just really helpful. Now, Kendrick Nunn has been playing really well throughout the preseason, but tonight we saw all of what we don't want to see from our guy Kendrick Nunn. It's just something that kind of drove me crazy about Kendrick Nunn in the past when I was able to see him play and it didn't, when he wasn't playing well. So defensively, he's not a defensive player, even though we've seen some solid things defensively. And when he gets hot, he can stay hot, and when his offensive package is all together, he can put up a 30-point game and really do a lot of great things for you. What we saw tonight, though, was him missing shots and then continuing to take shots. 3-point shot. There was absolutely no feel for the concerns of the team at the time. It was like your team is shooting 20% from 3 and you're stepping into 3-point shots off of rebounds, like off of defensive rebounds. You're bringing the ball up as the point guard, and you're stepping into 3-point shots for yourself. I can't tell you how frustrating that is to watch as a fan, bro. Like, it's the most frustrating thing in the world. It's like, it's almost like your confidence is not telling you what the reality of the circumstance is. It's the opposite of the confidence that you're displaying, bro. You should not be feeling that good about shooting threes when everybody, including yourself, is over. We need to be running plays in that situation. Last thing we need to be doing is stepping into threes. There was just a lot of that going on with Kendrick, and I'm just like, bro, I look at his plus minus, it's the worst of the whole team, the worst of the whole game. And I'm just watching him dribble around and take shots for himself and miss them and continue to take worse shots. And I'm like, that's what I was talking about in regards to our team. And the coaches are just going to have to put an emphasis on this, especially for our scorers. You just got to give those guys direction in regards to the shot selection. Because what we saw tonight was Kendrick basically shoot us out of the game, man. Shoot us and dribble us out of the game. I mean, it wasn't as simple as that. He wasn't the only problem, but we couldn't overcome what it was he was doing wrong out there. And I can't say he's played bad. Like I said, he's played great in this preseason. We saw the opposite of that 2 games ago. He was fantastic. But tonight, it was just so much bad basketball IQ going on from the man. I can't stress it. And we talk about Russell Westbrook in the struggles. We got to give the same struggles, the same criticism to others who are struggling the same way. And tonight, Kendrick Nunn's basketball IQ was not where I want it to be. And he has to get back to where he was 2 days ago and find other ways to help the team. One of the reasons why I haven't been so critical of Cole Slider, even though he's been stinking up the joint shooting the ball, is because he helps us in other areas while struggling. The rebounds are there, a couple steals are there, other things. Kendrick gave us nothing else tonight but the misses that he had to offer, and I just don't need that. I do not need that. I need a guy like that to give me 8 rebounds on a night like that. I need you to give me 6 assists on a night like that. I need you to get to the line twice as much on a night like that or something. But just bricking to be bricking and then bricking some more and then like leaving other guys open and stuff like it was too much of that tonight. Not just from him, just from the team. And I saw a lot of that in the previous game, and I mentioned it as well, that we need to work on team continuity, playing for one another, and just ultimately staying engaged when things aren't working. Understanding that we are a bad shooting 3-point team, so to not be deterred nor fall in love with hitting threes, especially when they're not falling. I know you're going to lose when you do that, man. It's tough enough when you fall in love with the 3 when it's falling. But when it's bricking and you're like, no, we're going to make it, no. It's like, are you fighting against your opponent, or are you fighting against your ego in regards to making shots that you cannot hit? Because I'm telling you, we were giving the Timberwolves so many extra possessions just by taking horrible selections of shots. So, yeah, very poor effort there in that regard. I was not happy. I ain't going to even pretend. Preseason or no preseason, I don't like stupid basketball, and that is exactly what I saw tonight. So, our stars were not a part of that. LeBron James was excellent. Anthony Davis was excellent. Their level of play was really, really high, and it's continuing to be where I want to see it. We talked about how AD was a step slow in the first half a little bit, but it did not blemish in terms of his numbers or anything like that. He was exactly as good as you want to see him be. And if he would have played his full spectrum of minutes, him and Bron would have beat the Timberwolves no problem, especially without their stars. That would not have been an issue. But, we tried some things, and I felt like we learned some things, and that's what it's all about. I would have liked to seen some guys a bit more tonight, though. I think we got away from trying other players that maybe needed to be seen a bit more because we were trying to give looks to Schroeder and Westbrook, allowing Kendrick to work that out. And so I kind of lean on the coaches in understanding that instilling confidence in players that you know you're going to need when they're struggling can be a good thing in getting them to trust you and getting them to try to work on on what's wrong, you know. So I like that from Darvin Ham. He let all of the guys, everybody who struggled on his team, he's allowed them to continue to play. He hasn't lost faith in them. He hasn't lost confidence in them. He hasn't, gone away from guys. And I don't know if that's to the detriment of other guys, but what I can say is I see the fruit in treating players that way. So I'm just being patient. I'm watching Darvin Ham, trying to get a feel for how he handles struggles and struggling players, and so far I'm happy. I am. I'm more prone to overreact, and I don't think that's the way to go. I would much rather my coach be the way Darvin is and just continue to see the bigger picture at all times. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. It's all good. I know we'll see more exciting basketball going forward. I understand that the Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that, without their stars, just in general, the way they're constructed, you're going to see ugly basketball games. They're not the prettiest basketball team this season. And so that contributed also to just the overall product tonight. But, it is what it is, man. We're happy to have NBA basketball back. At the end of the day, not every game is going to be a barn burner. I think this one ended very well. I think we had some excitement at the end. But, when Gabriel hit an awesome bank shot at the end. I don't know if he called bank or not, but that thing was incredible. We had some good plays here and there. We saw some nice stuff, but as a Laker fan, you just understand that this is a game you probably just burn and forget, burn the tape and forget it. And I think if you're the coaches, you feel like you have some pointers tonight. You have some things that you can take back to the kids and really show them where they can get better. We saw a lot of things we could do to get better. I think we learned some guys can be shifted around on the pecking order a little better so that we can have a little more success. Thomas Bryant. I like TB, you know what I mean? I've been singing his praises in regards to his effort, but what I want to see is more success defensively. There was more than once where there was and ones, and he was the guy who was getting the foul and the ball went in. It's just like, bro, you 7 feet tall. As long as you are, it needs to be about timing and discipline, because those are block shots and better defensive plays if he's a bit more just steady, steady, and just in better position to play defense. So that's where the coaches are going to have to work with him and help him get better at that so he can be more effective defensively. So it doesn't end up being an empty situation when he's down there. Because I like offensive bigs, you know what I mean? If you could score, that's great. But you got to be one hell of an offensive contributor for you to be a 7-foot big guy and guys continue to just score through you and foul you and draw fouls on you. 3-point plays every time you're defending, I need you to sit down. Like, that's how that go for me. I can't. If you're going to be a big guy, dish out the punishment to assure it's not a 3-point play. But it can't be 2 and 3 and 1s when you're the guy who's the last line defense. Nah, that's going to make me want to go to Damian Jones and want to play Anthony Davis at the 5. Like, seriously, that's a big pet peeve of mine. I cannot have that. So if I'm looking at things that I want to kind of shore up, is Thomas Bryant defensively. You got to get better right now, bro. I ain't going to go front. That was a big thing, man. That's a big thing. So I want to see the coaches work with him. Hopefully we can get him to just kind of just get a little more sound defensively, get more steady, a little more calm. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of energy, but he's going to have to be able to funnel that energy in the right direction so that we can use it to win. Because otherwise, he's just, as I said, a bull in a china shop, and we can't use that. That's not going to work. So, yeah, man. Coaches got their work cut out for them. That's what it really is about. I'm not looking at the kids. It's too early to start saying, yo, you suck, you go. No. It's time to look at the coaches and say, all right, this is where you make your money. This is where coaches make your money. Now go out there and make them better over the next 3 months. And 3 months from now, we'll assess how they've gotten better. And I think, judging by what I've seen over the last couple days, I am not worried. I see guys' improvement in a couple of days. Some of them have gotten better in just the beginning of the preseason to now. So I think we're on the right track. I don't care about the record. We're 1-4. I would like to have seen us win more than one game, but it is what it is. Now I'm just poised to see if these are bad habits or if we're under control. That's what it's about. I don't know. We'll be looking to find out, though. So that is really what I gotta say, man. What else about this game? Anything else I really want to give this boring game? This game sucked, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I hated it. I hated every second of watching this game, low-key. I ain't gonna even pretend, man. I don't know if you guys had that same experience watching this game, but I'm just sitting there. The first quarter seemed like 2 quarters. And, yeah. So, it's one of those type of situations where, at the end of the day, it was a close game. Our guys were competitive. I love what I saw from Patrick Beverley in terms of his intensity. He wants to win these types of games. It means something to him to win everything, and I love that. You wear our uniform, that's exactly how we want you to be. So, shout out to Pat Beverley for giving us that Pat Beverley experience. Him and Russell Westbrook seem to be getting along just fine. I know that makes the peanut gallery mad. I know they hate it. These guys supposed to be fist fighting, but to be honest with you, I don't sense nothing but good energy for these dudes. From these dudes for one another. I don't think it's fake. I don't think it's phony. And I don't know these folks, so I could be wrong, but judging body language, Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley are getting along. That's what I'm here to tell you. So, yeah, everything looks good, man, except for this game. But we got another one coming up very soon. It'll be our final preseason game, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. I know Minnesota's next preseason game is their final one. So I'm thinking that we're probably done, too. Either way, good preseason, man. Good preseason. We know we're not a great three-point shooting team, so I would take it to say that we're going to be a streaky three-point shooting team. Don't expect to shoot above 35%, but I don't want us to shoot too many. Now, if the defense is going to give you nothing but threes, then we do have to take the ones that make sense. But tonight, we fell in love with it and couldn't get away with it. And if we would have turned some of those possessions into good possessions, we would have won the game. We only lost by 4. Was it 4 or 5? We would have won the game. But we just did not defend the perimeter good enough, especially with Luka Garza. I felt like there were plenty of three-point shots, but we just didn't put a hand up. Effort wasn't always where it needed to be. I thought guys lagged a little bit tonight, here and there. I think some of that had to do with Dennis Schroeder being incorporated into the lineup and just not necessarily having his timing together. As I said, I thought he looked exhausted to me. But, you know, guys are just getting started, man, so we got to figure it out and get them worked in. So, yeah, please, Genie, do consider if Russell Westbrook is going to continue to struggle. I think we are at our best when he's not part of what we're doing. I'm sitting here and I'm asking myself as I'm watching him play, and I know the answer to this question, but it still makes me ask it. What is he bringing to the table at this point? What is he good at? What is he good at right now? And the answer is that he can drive into the lane, put pressure on the rim, get to the line, draw fouls against the opponent, and hopefully get good players off the floor by doing so. That is what he brings to the table right now. But just about everything else, I don't really have a whole lot that I'm saying I like from the player, man. Like, nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. And so when you look up there and you see he's getting 18, 19 minutes, and you look at Scottie Pippen, he only got a few. You look at how well, other guys played in the short amount of time they got. Winion, Gabriel barely played. I just don't want that to carry into the regular season at all. I want us to lean on what works in any given night. I want us to get away from what doesn't in any given night. And I don't want politics or favoritism to play into that or in any way. Finances of who making what and how much that represents the cap. I don't want that to have nothing to do with what we see on the floor, man. Because the NBA is a fluid sport and in-game adjustments are everything. And I just did not see in-game adjustments tonight that helped us stay in rhythm and ultimately remove the rhythmless pieces from the floor. Tonight, those rhythmless pieces were Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, for the most part. They needed to be removed and replaced with better players. So, like I said, there's balance to be understood. Leaning on guys who are struggling can help get that confidence later. They'll run through a wall for you. All of that, I see it all. But at the end of the day, this is also what I see, and I just think we lost because of it. So let's not carry that into the regular season. Let's not let that be part of what we're doing. So that's what I gotta say, man. Good form, Lakers. Good form, good crowd. You know what I mean? Not all bad. Preseason loss, no problem. Let's get back to work. Hopefully more practices will make more cohesive basketball play. That's what I got to say, man. BDF 44. I thank you all for rocking with me. I'm out.